Next, we have the budget discussion, and perhaps final approvals, perhaps not. Oh, thank you both for that.
Oh, no, yeah, thank you. If we could, just for the record,
Yeah.
if we could just get your signature on the bottom of that letter, so we can have that for the record.
We're signing this one here.
Okay.
I think they're gonna take it though.
Okay.
You need this, right?
If you don't mind, yeah. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you. So, 2 weeks ago, I combed through the budget again with Cherry. And you can see current taxes, estimated for 2027 are going down a little bit. Partly is that is due to the fire truck being paid for. And I'll also mention item number 7. Well, it's actually item number 8. The Highway Emergency Reserve Fund, I believe, is included in this budget, but we'd have to get that approved by the voters first.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So, thinking about how,
What page is that on?
let's see, it's under expenses. And it's one we transfer out, it should be under transfers.
Oh, okay, under highway expenses?
I think it's further beyond that.
Transfers are 1760.
One,
Transfer to equipment fund.
oh, under transfers?
Yeah.
Yep, usually, maybe it didn't get in, okay.
Oh, I see, I got it, I see it.
See transfers?
Wow, that's great.
So we did not put money in
No.
for that yet, which is okay. Equipment fund reappraisal, fire truck, yeah.
So how do we have that, Jay? Do we have it under,
We could make our budget contingent upon approval of that fund, I think.
all right, we
Or,
should-
or it would add that, if they approved it, we could suggest an amount. We have to vote on the floor, but I think we said we wanted to vote. We could make it a two-part question.
Are you asking to approve a fund, or are you asking to approve another truck?
We're asking to approve a fund, it's like a long-term savings account, and this all is because we don't believe FEMA will be available to help in the way that they have in the event of an emergency, like in terms financially speaking. So we're thinking, one, create a fund, and two, how do we want to actually fund that, right?
That was a different fund now, man. We're talking about
yeah, it's a new one.
New one.
the flood fund thing? Or
Yeah.
we're talking about the
Yep.
equipment?
Highway Emergency Fund.
Yep.
We're gonna call it the highway emergency fund?
Yeah.
We can change it.
It's dedicated just for roads, bridges, culverts, floods.
50 grand,
And
we
you,
were saying, right?
how much are you thinking of funding? I mean, ideally, what would you want to
We're
fund?
talking about 50 grand to start,
50, yeah.
but
Why
we
not?
need more than that.
No, I mean, that makes sense
Yeah.
to have a kitty you pay into.
Yeah.
I ran across something I was reading in a policy and procedure manual today, and let me just read it to you. It's a quick paragraph. The Select Board of the Town of Plymouth believes that sound financial management requires that sufficient funds be maintained by the town for unanticipated expenditures and revenue shortfalls during the course of a fiscal year, as may be caused by economic downturns, natural disasters, and other unforeseen circumstances. Maintaining such funds will help sustain the stability of the town tax rate and reduce the need for short-term borrowing.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're anticipating that FEMA's not going to be there, so we need to start getting an account, a reserve just dedicated for disasters like that.
No, I think that makes sense.
Otherwise, we could end up paying it all at once.
Well, exactly.
Later.
How, I don't want to shift the discussion, but how are we doing on FEMA collections from the past?
We're real close.
Yeah, we're in real good shape.
The one thing I haven't checked in is that little percentage that we're supposed to get from the state for having all those certain things in place, so. Yeah. Jerry did an amazing job. Yeah.
She did amazing, I know.
Yeah. So I don't know, we're thinking, we're gonna establish this fund, the question is, you
So
know,
we should we put it in as an article,
Yeah.
like in town meeting, and have a vote on that line item?
and the amount.
Yeah,
I know.
okay, that makes sense.
I mean, we're thinking 50,000, does anybody else have an opinion on that?
I kind of think that's light, but,
I think it's light too.
But
yeah.
the thing is, if you do it annually, so rather than.
Yeah, but it's gonna take 10 years, and you're only gonna get $500,000. I mean, the last flood cost us $2 million.
The idea is to initiate repairs, right? So that we can qualify for FEMA money.
Yeah, I was thinking, but there's no, we have a line of credit. If we get into trouble, right? But it's also.
We do.
If FEMA doesn't like fund disasters at the same rate anymore, right? And we don't know, I mean, I assume we'll get another flood. We've had 2 of them in 12 years.
They're just releasing the 2023 flood money to, people up north. So, I mean, it's kind of,
Well, in order to get any substantial amount of money, we'd have to raise taxes to do it.
Yep.
I mean, more than, if we wanted to put 100 grand in it, or 150 or 200 a year, we'd have to
Yeah,
collect it,
yeah.
because there's nowhere it's gonna come from right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
So this year, we're proposing with this balanced budget, $1,544,000 in taxes. Last year was $1,592,000, well, that's actually and then the previous year was $1,632,000, so. Taxes have been creeping back down a little bit. And, I mean, all our equipment's new, we mentioned in this, so we don't really, we're slowly saving for replacement, but I don't think we're in a bad spot.
we'll throw it out there as an article, and in the floor discussion at town meeting, if there's an appetite for saving more every year, we can amend that article.
Sure.
And,
What are you thinking? You'd like to fund?
Well, we did kick around $50,000 a year, but, I mean, if the majority of discussion seems to lean toward $100,000 a year, we can amend the article.
Could you provide
50,000 is
some,
not gonna go very far.
No, but,
could you provide some insight into what the impact to the mill rate is for 50,000 or 100,000?
no, that's a good point.
Not for that amount.
I think we should be prepared to do that, David, yeah.
Because that would
Wouldn't be an
help
impact.
That
the
would be-
discussion, I think.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even be
When this
noticed.
transfer of the equipment fund, are they going to get rid of this? Is that what you said? When we started?
I thought it was gonna be separate. But that's gonna stay,
That's gonna stay.
right? Isn't this
Is it
first
in
line?
name?
We're not getting rid of the equipment fund, right?
No.
It'll be a whole different,
That's highway equipment,
another transfer fund, whatever we were, highway, what?
135.
Highway, whatever, call it whatever we want. Rainy day. I think we'd have to, ask voters what they think, how much money you wanna put away.
Yeah,
And here's what, we could do what you're saying, we can have maybe for a couple of different amounts, here's what that tax impact will be, and then people can kick it around and decide.
Well, and also, if these are dedicated funds, dedicated road funds, they can be invested, although
Correct.
rates are going down now, so.
And we talked about that last time, it can only be in a
You're not gonna
CD or
get the
something.
same
though.
kind of income out of it.
yeah.
It can't be,
Vegas.
it's gotta be something secure like a CD or,
Well, no, I mean, the municipal bond bank, didn't we invest with them?
We did, we got a great rate. We
Yeah,
had-
when rates were great. They're coming down now. I mean, and also because we owe them money, so.
I'm guessing, I think we're 3.5 or 4% on that bond rate, it probably couldn't borrow for any less than 6 now.
Yeah. That's moving around too, so.
You all having more questions about the budget? There's not too much to change, but,
No, I think it looks good. I think we're holding the line.
okay, great. That enough for this?
Have you discussed all of the budget, leaving the fire department fund and all that? That's what I'm here about.
Okay.
Have you discussed that yet? or-
Yeah, no, we talked about it a little bit last time, but,
Yeah.
let's look and see.
Because I know we were at $100,000 in that, for that.
Dedicated for the fire truck?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We threw out a number of savings going ahead at 40,000.
I was, I was thinking that we would maybe think about 150.
A year?
Well, the reason I say that is because Larry and Jeff are getting older. They are not gonna be able to drive that truck. Tyler would be the only one that could drive that truck legally because the rest of us don't have a CDL. There's two other people that need to know how, that can drive it, but we're not able to according to our operating procedures. A new truck is probably gonna be in the $500,000 to $600,000 range. It's probably gonna be 3 or so years out. Larry only has a certain amount of time before he's gonna retire. I'm pretty sure it's about 3 years, something like that.
So you're thinking about a smaller tanker?
We're thinking about a smaller tanker with automatic, like 2,000 to 2,500 gallons. It's gonna probably be, like I said, in the $600,000 range, but it takes 2 years to get it. And my thought process, and I had talked to Angela about this a little bit as well, the assistant chief, and our feeling is that, maybe we try to order a truck this spring and kind of get it going, because they're taking 2 and 3 years out for all this equipment. I know they'll just order a couple of trucks and they're out 3 years. So if we set aside the money, we'd have about $500,000. The fire department would obviously kick in whatever we could. We're in the process of trying to buy a pickup truck to haul the equipment trailer with the gator in it. So kind of our fundraising right now is kind of all aimed towards that. We're at about 30-something thousand right now for that specifically. But
Is this because not everyone has a CDL?
correct.
So maybe getting a CDL might be useful?
Well, I mean, it's asking a lot. I mean, it's probably 100 and something hours to get a CDL. To ask, I mean, I can drive it. I just don't have a permit or an actual CDL license to drive it. I mean, what's that?
Don't you just have to go and pass the test?
Well, oh no, I haven't gotten my learner's permit. I've been driving with those guys, but
Is it special for, no, I just mean to get a CDL. Is it a special CDL for a fire truck?
yeah, well, it's a 4,000 gallon tanker truck.
Okay.
Man, you gotta recertify every year, you gotta take the,
I don't know much
Physical
about
drug
getting a
test.
CDL. I mean, I've driven the truck. I can do that.
Is the drug
But-
test a problem? I mean, is that a problem?
no, I'm saying, it's
Just weird you said that.
It's just volunteers.
It's,
doing
No,
it.
I know.
asking people to
I
do
just
that
don't
to
think
get a
a C-
CDL is not like just going and getting a piece of paper, it's a process to do it,
Right.
so.
And it's
Spending $150,000 on a new truck is a big deal too.
Well, the truck's on its way out eventually. soon.
Yeah, I mean, that truck is a
That's 30 years old?
2002 maybe, something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Almost
And a
30.
smaller truck would be able to access smaller roads a lot easier.
Absolutely, and the 4,000 gallon, we want a single axle. It would be a little bit shorter. It would be, it would obviously have to have a pump on it, but it doesn't have to be an engine pump size and all that stuff. It's just, it's giving us extra water if we don't have access right away, is ultimately what it is. And the 4,000 gallons, don't get me wrong, is wonderful. But when we get into a, mutual aid call with other towns, our tanker's so big that we screw up the whole system. Everyone's dumping 2,000 gallons, 2,500 gallons of water, and we're dumping 4,000. So, trucks are rotating through and they're having to wait and stuff like that. So it's a little bit big for this area, in this rural area, but it's nice to have. But it's just too big for us, there's not enough people coming into the fire department, there's not enough, the volunteers that we have. I guess maybe somebody would maybe be willing to, get a CDL, but you're asking that person to be responsible for every fire in the town. You have to have a vehicle that everyone can drive and train on and be safe with. I mean, 4,000 gallons and 2,000 gallons is a huge difference. The weight and the way the truck reacts and rolls and responds in corners and things like that. So it's a safety thing at that point too, because if you don't have someone with a CDL, they're not supposed to be driving the truck. So that was our thought process. I know we were getting 100 grand for that, and if we tried to up it to 150 or 125 or something, we'd be close to that $500,000 number in a matter of 3 years. And then, maybe we could order something in the spring and get it on the books. At least, we'd probably be, 2029, something like that, delivery.
I guess that should go on the ballot.
Like another article?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a big number.
Yeah, it's a big number, and, the trucks aren't getting cheaper, so.
No.
Yeah.
The same truck that we just bought for, I don't know, just over 4,000 or 500,000, was it? 490 something. That truck now is, up in the 625 range. It's 125,000 more than we paid for it. So I would like to get something started, in the springtime, maybe try to, meet up with a couple of different purveyors, and we'll probably, we like the E1 truck. It's, they were very price effective and, competitive. Everything else is just a little bit more even, for the most of them, like KME and stuff like that. They're all, they're under the same company, but, they're all in different plants throughout the country.
And the old truck's essentially worthless.
No, actually, I think we can get 20 or, 40 grand, something like that. I mean, essentially it's a log truck. If we take that tank off or even leave it on and sell it, I think we'd probably be in the $20,000 range. I mean, with the miles it has on it, and it's been meticulously kept.
So you opposed to putting it out there as an article?
No, I'm just here to talk about it and to kind of bring it up to your attention.
Yeah.
In 3 years, I don't want us to be sitting here scratching our head and trying to figure out what we should do. So that's why I think we should be proactive about it, and that's why I'm here to talk to you guys about it.
Does that make sense? Put it on an article, let the town decide?
To create the fund or increase the amount?
Yeah, yeah.
And what is the amount that he said, 125?
125, 150, somewhere in that.
Yeah, I said 150 is what I started with. But I mean, if you guys feel that's too much, that's your decision to make too.
And we suggested, or I guess it was a suggestion last time with the other truck about used trucks. Would a used truck be an option in this instance, or you'd still want to go brand new?
I mean, we could look into it. It's just the last time we did it, you don't really find anything of quality. I mean, you're looking at a 12 or 15-year-old truck that's, if it's been banging around Vermont or something like that, it's not, it's not the same as having something newer. I mean, we'll definitely look into it. It's still going to be, to get a used truck, it's going to be in the $300,000 range. So, if we're at a 3-year window here to try to get something new before our CDL people kind of retire or aren't around anymore, then we need to be prepared as far as having, a tanker.
Money on hand?
Yeah.
I really think it's a dangerous truck for somebody to drive without a CDL. I mean, it is
Yeah.
heavy.
Boy, have times changed. Phew. I'm telling my age, but I had a CDL and it was like a $20 application fee.
I
It
drove
was easy.
every kind of truck you could think of in the military, so I know where you're at, but it's just not the same.
Okay.
Any more on the budget?
I have nothing else.
All right. Anything else? Carol?
I know this isn't really part of the budget, and I don't want to, again, deflect the conversation, but, because I was looking at the reappraisal fund, do we have a date on when the reappraisals? Okay.
Yeah, we do. It's this fall, but I don't have the date.
Okay, well,
All
the
right.
fall 26.
Yep.
Great. And
Yep.
so that'll mean
For the
that-
27 grand list.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a contract, we have a contract for it, and I can bring that if you'd be curious at the next meeting, we can give you the exact date. Oh, Deb, do you remember the exact date?
Yeah, I do, and I have a copy of the contract. The date is, we start making appointments and stuff in the summer and the fall. So I will be calling the homeowners and then making appointments with them, and then the ones that don't respond, then, that's Ryan, it's Ryan's company, the gentleman who's just here. Then his people will go out and try to get information from the homeowners.
Okay.
That's gonna start in the summer, or?
It starts in the, I don't know what exact date it is, but it will, they try to get a lot of their work done before it gets too snowy. I
Sure.
believe. And then then they enter the data, and you put all the data in, and then the final data goes in at the end of March, so the grand list gets lodged April 1st. And then that will start the grievance process. The letters will go out if they have a change of value. And then they come in if they want to grieve. And then in July, that's when the grand list, that's when everything should be done. And then you would need to E&O what we just did today. Errors and omissions, because you don't really change the grand list without having permission from the select board. Once it's lodged.
Thank you.
And I'll go look at the contract, and see if I can get a date for you guys.
In the meantime, I'll give the delinquent tax update. According to Beth, delinquent taxes due are $39,907. Properties currently held by the town, a grand list value of $4,667. And looks like Beth says she has written contracts with monthly installments from previous delinquent taxes coming in at $10,323 a month. And says I will continue to reach out in the remaining balance due of $24,917.
That's a big improvement from years past.
Well, isn't it? Good job.
Okay. So our next agenda item is to discuss 2 open planning and zoning board of adjustment positions and appoint 1 person. And Bruce is the chair. Bruce, did you have anything to share at all?
Nothing.
Okay. And we have a letter of interest from Mike Scamillia. No, do you have that in your?
Yeah.
Do you see a Lindsay in there?
You need this one, too?
Showed interest in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually haven't seen that.
Oh,
I knew it was.
okay.
Maybe that one?
We have 2 letters of interest. Right?
What's his name's letter?
Well, we don't,
We don't have to, well, we're not appointing them tonight, somebody tonight, are we?
I think we should probably have an executive session
okay.
too, a little bit, just, we don't want to talk about names on camera. And so if anybody has anything to say, I think that's the appropriate. Are you good with that?
Fair
Fine
enough.
with that.
Okay.
Yep.
Good with that, Bruce?
Bruce, you don't want to recommend anybody?
No.
No preference either way?
I was thinking of Frank, but he's already a member.
Yeah, he already wears that hat.
Carol, what are you doing on like the second Tuesday every month?
I might consider it.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Jimmy, no, you're already the zoning guy, you can't do two double dip, huh?
Can't do that.
Okay. Next item, Cherry is not here this evening, but many of you probably already know she has resigned just due to, work, life, family balance. So we'll be sorry to see her go. It's been amazing. So we're looking for a new treasurer. And it's a part-time position. I believe it's been advertised already. Number 11, the annex building. I was just thinking about this last week, and apparently Angela, it occurred to her and Beth as well, but we've got that building sitting empty. We've used it for different things and times of need, but I wonder if it's something we can, renovate or rent out.
I mean, you could surely try. It's not that big.
I'm thinking you'd have to gut it first and like do some major renovations before you.
It's got quite a mold smell in there.
Yeah, it definitely has a mold smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna rent it, I would definitely put into that, stripping it out and re.
It's got a new roof, right, Rick?
It does have a new roof.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying the inside, get to the studs and see what you got.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly big in there. I was amazed the size. It looks so small from the outside, but it really, a lot of room in there.
I mean, I think it could be worth doing if we thought, it might even be worth like saying, hey, if we could get interest in renting it, and what do you need, and then maybe renovate it to suit.
Renovate it.
Yeah.
We could do that too.
Build a suit.
Yeah. How is it?
The options are fairly limited now. I mean, what could you possibly put in there?
I mean, you don't just want anyone in there either. I mean, you could be a bad sound.
The town employees are in there.
Grow house.
We could put
weed
another pot shop.
dispensary. Yeah, that's what it would end up being more than likely. Somebody.
Well, we just got one approved, so.
Have another small one. You got anything you want to put in there? Trapper supply, something?
Nope.
I mean, it's an idea. We have to spend some money to get it.
So should we ask Angela to run that?
Yeah,
We can
maybe like
Part of the
RFPs.
square footage or something, and, yeah.
How much are you running for?
I don't know, I guess we'd have to think about what we're gonna invest in it, like what the market rate is for, commercial.
You're not gonna rent it as like a house, like a
Right.
Does it have
single-family residence.
limitations because it's owned by the town? Would it have any limitations on use? I mean, you would be in charge of that if you.
Right, I think we'd be careful, right, about, we'd, be discerning a little bit about what, I think, and it might even go to, like, what feels compatible, we might even ask that of a larger group of people, what feels like a comfortable fit, and it would add like a little bit of vitality to
Sure.
the town. I guess the big question I had that I don't know is, like, there's been some septic issues at the school. Do you see, Rick, do you know, like, the age of any of that equipment?
No, I'm not aware of any issues like that.
Okay.
It's got a bathroom, hot air furnace,
Petition deferred.
um,
Okay.
window air conditioners, I suppose.
Get donuts.
It's got 2 private offices plus that community space for meetings, so should be worth something.
What about having the Historical Society in that building and letting the school have more space?
We asked that question, and we got significant pushback
Is that right?
by the
It
historical
would still have
society.
to be, the smell has to be fixed.
Yeah, the mold, I think it's the mold.
Lane didn't care, she had her own little spot.
I did, my trailer.
Yeah, you had your own
And chair.
satellite office.
Yeah. That was a pretty tight space, but it's perfect size for that if that could ever be allowed.
We could, I mean, that's a good idea, but they weren't too keen on going over there for whatever reason. Maybe if you renovate it and they'd go. But they won't pay rent, right?
I wouldn't guess. I wouldn't guess they make a lot of revenue for people through the door.
They have to get their
If they were
numbers
gonna
up.
charge, per person that goes there, I mean.
How much you pay to look at the Tyson stove?
Right? I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Follow-up discussion on speed signs for out here, the lighted radar signs. That grant opens up in January, so I can work on that. Angela forwarded another grant, I think, but I can't seem to locate it. But that's all I got.
Didn't she already get a grant for that?
She got the approval. She went. She applied for the state and got the approval to actually have them out there. But
Not
Did
the
you-
money.
not the money.
I think when you had the original discussion, it was we were only gonna have one, and you were gonna decide whether it would be one end of the town or the other, or has that changed?
I thought we had two
Oh, you had two, okay.
permitted.
Yeah, and if we can get the funding.
So,
Yeah.
excellent,
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
So do we have to do it before we get the money?
No.
Is that the deal?
I think it's not a reimbursable, well, it might be reimbursed, but we want to all apply, and then we can see if we get awarded it, and then we have to make the decision, if we don't get it, if we want to spend the money. So,
What do they go for?
I was gonna say, did you know the cost or?
no idea.
Yeah.
So the grant hasn't been approved then?
I haven't applied yet. We talked about it last year, and the grant had closed by the time we had the discussion,
Got you.
because it only runs from like 2-month period.
Yeah.
And starts in January. Okay. Is there a follow-up on the noise policy in junkyard?
Did you exclude yourself from that discussion?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. I think on planning and zoning I did because I was a neighbor where it came up with a particular, and I didn't want there to be a conflict of interest, so. But this is
Okay.
planning and zoning said, hey, y'all should, think about an ordinance for noise and junk. Does anybody here have any comments about that, like a junkyard or?
Where is the junkyard?
It's not permitted.
Right.
It's not a permitted use in our zoning.
And I think the question was more like, I think there's a junk ordinance, like people having junk in their yards. Was the,
Well, that's the thing that Rick was talking about.
right?
You have to be fairly specific, I think, when you're talking about junk
Yeah.
in a yard, and then what's being done with it. I mean, you can't run a legitimate junkyard.
Right.
Right.
Selling things, but you have an old car and it dies on you, and you buy another one, and you think, well, I'm gonna fix that eventually, and it sits, and
Pretty subjective. Yeah.
If it's right on the side of the road, perhaps, but is that worse than this defunct house down the road? On
Yeah.
the side of the road? I don't know. I think noise is probably a bigger issue to a lot of people than something that you drive by, you see it for a moment, and then you don't. But
I'm not
if you're
offended
at
by any of
home
it,
and
by the way,
There's some noise going on all day, you
Yeah.
might be more aware of that.
I could be wrong, but I don't want to speak for the whole board, but I think the board would not have a good appetite to regulate noise, whether it be a policy or procedure or permit condition or whatever. I don't think this board would support that. Now, if somebody felt really strong about that, they could start a petition, get the required number of signatures, have a ballot initiative about it, but I would suspect and bet that the town as a whole would not support a noise ordinance either.
Well, I understand that, and I
Okay.
think I feel the way you do. There's, noise is mentioned in the zoning regs in two places, and both refer to commercial
Noises, yeah.
applications, where the noise level has to be below 70
72
dB
decibels.
at the property line. And other than that, noise of construction during construction, if there were hours of operation, that would take care of that. You know, you don't want.
I'd like to speak to that
people up
issue
at 5
too,
in the
though,
morning.
Bruce, in the hours of operation, because I spoke at the last meeting and said I really didn't have any objections to that, and I was familiar with working under those conditions of working hours. And I was thinking about it after the meeting as I was processing that conversation, and I'm going to change my position on that, and here's why. When I was talking about working under those conditions, you're talking about larger commercial projects that affect a lot of people in a bigger situation, but you don't have that condition here in Plymouth. 99% of your construction is going to be residential construction. And I did speak to one or two residents about this, and I actually have a little example I want to share. Suppose a young couple comes to town, they buy a starter home, and they're both hardworking couples, they come home 5, 6 o'clock at night, the growing family, they got a baby coming, they need to add to their house, they're going to put a nursery on, right? So they want to put a little addition on. So they come home and they have their dinner 5 or 6 o'clock, and they want summertime, they want to work till 9 o'clock because it's light outside. Who are we to say they have to stop working at 7? That's just wrong. It just rubbed me wrong the more I think about it. So, see, the thing is, maybe it'll be inconvenience to a neighbor, and maybe it'll be a little bit of disturbance, but it's not a long-term problem. It's a short-term problem. There's a beginning and an end, and when it's over, it's over. So the neighbor's just going to have to put up with a little inconvenience, and instead of complaining about it, go over and give them a hand and help the neighbor. You'll get done quicker. You know, so I'm going to change my position and say I would be opposed to regulating working hours,
Listening to
especially
that,
on...
I can't help but agree with you.
Yeah,
On the whole thing.
I think
Well, I
the
know.
zoning part of it came because of commercial. You know, it's like if Artie was tipping dumpsters up at the shop until 10 o'clock at night. That kind of noise, it's not necessary. You know, you're talking about a person building a home or putting an addition on or something like that. You're trying to get into that house, you know, and it's a 6 or 1 year window. It's not 6 month, 1 year window. It's
That's
not
exactly right, Jim.
every day, 5 days a week, you know.
So, anyway.
I mean, you know, sometimes you're excavating at 10 o'clock at night because you're, you know, trying to beat rain or trying to do this or try to do that. I mean, you know, or you know, it's part of it.
You could be cutting a lawn, and you have a
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
loud
yeah,
lawnmower.
well, you know, like Woodstock in 2026, I believe they're all electric. Every mower in town has to be electric. Every blower has to be electric. It's, you know, and it's, you know, a gas-powered machine, you know, comparable is $16,000, $18,000, and an electric one, the same size that I run, is $40,000, $38,000. And then you have to have the batteries on top of that. That's just for the mower. You want to be able to mow for 8 hours, you're going to need 6 sets of batteries. So,
Or your generator.
yeah, or your generator, yeah, hook it up. you can put a solar
We're gonna have solar generator or gas. Can't burn gas in Woodstock. Yeah, it's gonna do, the air will be better over Woodstock for that. Go breathe.
I had heard enough on noise to bring it up.
Okay.
It needed to be looked at, that's all.
Thank you. And that's a good example, too, right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Ms. Bookless.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Sue Bookless. I'm the owner on Campground Road, and I'm here. I'm really upset about this letter I got from the town lawyer and things that were said in the February 3rd, 2025 meeting about my property, which I think are a major misrepresentation of the situation on Campground Road. For some reason, the lawyer felt like he needed to write in my letter that I purchased the property in 2016 3 times, which doesn't really have any bearing on this situation at all. But when I purchased the property, and for the last 40 years, according to the other people who lived on the road, there was never a turnaround on the road. No one,
I have to disagree with that.
well, I would love to see something to support that opinion.
Well, I'm just going by what our highway foreman has been telling me.
Well, the highway foreman doesn't just get to magically say that something is real and it becomes a fact. There's nothing in the deed.
Well, he's not going to lie about it.
Well, there's nothing in the deed, there's nothing on the town map, and my neighbors aren't lying, and they're willing to provide affidavits to say that there was never a turnaround there. So, I didn't say that word, you said that word.
What word?
Okay? Lie. Also,
No, I said he wouldn't
would
lie
not.
about
Correct,
it.
well, you said the word, not me.
I did say the word, correct.
I'm just pointing that out. So I am very upset about other things that were said at that meeting in February, and I had a very significant personal thing happen to me about a week later, and that's why I'm not here. I actually came to town
What
meeting.
meeting is that?
February 3rd, 2025. There was an agenda item about Campground Road, and a lot of things were said about that, there being this agreement that supposedly exists. I would love to see something from the previous owner. The lawyer didn't even bother to do any discovery to be able to mention the property owner's name. This letter is ridiculous. I can't believe a lawyer put their name on it. And I'm livid. I have anxiety, and I did not come before you guys earlier because I am so upset that people in my town had the audacity to start using my property. It was a beautiful grassy meadow. It's an easement, okay? It's an easement. I could have gardens on it. I can't build anything, but it's in the middle of my property, and I might want to do something over there. And more than anything, the bottom line is, the town, without my permission, without a phone call, started turning around on the property, plowed up all the sod, and made a gigantic mess. I can't mow it anymore. It was maintained. It was a beautiful grassy meadow. And like I said, there's neighbors on my property who have been there for more than 4 decades who will absolutely attest that there's never been a turnaround there. And there was no turnaround when I bought the property. And I have pictures.
Can you help us understand how the plow truck got out of there before?
I guess they backed up. But the big item is that they never brought the big truck. And as I understand, the previous road commissioner, I don't know if this is true, but I understand the previous road commissioner decided that it was unsafe to use the gigantic truck on that road. And if you know the intersection that we're talking about, it's a 90-degree angle, there's a blind S-turn up here, and there's a blind hill up here, and that big truck shouldn't be turning in or out of that road to begin with. Forget about blasting down my road at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then just to make things just even better, they had the audacity to back the truck up at 5 o'clock in the morning and shine their lights in my bedroom window every morning. And I am very unhappy, okay? I'm trying to not be emotional.
Who's the previous road commissioner that you mentioned?
I don't think that matters. That's all, the burden of whatever documentation, so I got this letter from the lawyer that says the previous owner, ask the lawyer who sent me this ridiculous letter. The previous owner made an agreement. The town agreed, blah, blah, blah. Well, why didn't he append it? Where's the agreement? It doesn't exist.
Okay, so would you feel better if you knew the name of the previous owner, or he mentioned it?
I know the previous owner. If you want us to say, somebody said there's a friggin' agreement, show me the documentation. Show me the piece of paper that
What if it was a verbal agreement?
Then it wouldn't apply.
So is your goal to stop the
So
the
I
highway
want to just say,
department?
thank you.
Yep.
I don't feel like I'm an unreasonable person. And initially, I was not opposed. I wasn't even opposed to the idea, okay? I'm not going to get into the history of this whole situation, but the thing that I am incensed about is that the town had the audacity to just come onto my property and wreck the whole place up, and then you said we were arguing as part of the public record from this meeting. We're arguing. You said, oh no, I'm sorry, we're trying to work it out. Well, there has been zero communication from the town about this item. If he wanted to take eminent domain, law says you have to contact me and work it out with me, and there's been zero communication. There was no communication, and I put firewood over there. I made it clear, I thought, that area was not available for the turnaround. And I didn't come here because, you see me, I'm nervous and anxious, and this has been really upsetting to me that this was done to my property. My neighbors are unhappy because it's a friggin' mess. And now there's this ridiculous pile of wood there that there's a whole story about that, and I'm just not even gonna touch on why that is there. But I was like, well, I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm so pissed. It is destroyed. I mean, we could have a conversation later, but I'm here, I'm so mad, I don't even wanna do it. And then you said something about how I'm preventing the fire department and emergency staff from getting down the road. Okay, well, there was never a turnaround there, and the gigantic fire truck was on my road a couple months ago, and they were able to turn around.
Actually, we had to turn around in somebody else's driveway. We backed out. I was driving the truck, actually. We had to back out, and we pulled into, I don't know, the second or third driveway.
Yeah, I don't know what they used to do, okay? And that's why I love the idea of a smaller fire truck. And I'm not even really like, I'm mad right now. And I don't even want to talk, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm upset that it was suggested that if the town plow truck backed out into 100, being unsafe, that would somehow be my fault. Like, that's ridiculous. That's part of the record.
We are operating under the understanding that is a snowplow turnaround and has been for many years.
It's not, and it wasn't.
We believe it is. I think
Well-
it's safe to say this board does.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that you have to prove that in court.
We're happy to.
Yeah, and also, I would like the town to know, I would like to go on record, as all you guys as my witness, that it seems like a pattern of behavior that the town is trying to use people's property without their permission, and that people have to get a lawyer. I haven't done any discovery, but I know of 3 people that had to spend $5,000 to hire a lawyer to keep the town from taking their property. And that's without doing any discovery.
We don't know anything about that.
I'm sure. So how much do we have to pay the lawyer to write this letter that has no proof? If there's an agreement and you're gonna pay the town lawyer to send somebody a letter, where is the agreement?
I don't think there's agreement for a lot of snowplow turnarounds in town. It's just the town roads got plowed for years, the snowplow
So the
turns
fact
around.
that everybody in my road will attest that there was never a town
You're at the end of a
turnaround there?
town road that's been plowed for years. You think that truck's backed out on Route 100 for 40
It has,
years?
because there was beautiful grassy
I
meadow
don't
there.
think so.
Well, how could there have been a beautiful grassy
I
meadow
don't-
there? Well, you know what, we don't need to argue about it, okay? But I don't appreciate it. I also want to just say, as a reasonable person, that it's like 2 or 3 different places, and the only thing in the minutes from that meeting was that a new property owner has refused to allow the town to turn around in their driveway anymore.
Is that inaccurate?
Is 10 years, is a decade a new property owner?
Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, it is inaccurate, because it's not my driveway. It was a manicured, beautiful meadow
All right.
that's been destroyed.
Thank you for sharing your comments. Can you listen to me for a minute? Okay. The turnaround is in the town right-of-way, correct? In the road
No.
right-of-way?
No,
No?
absolutely not.
It's not in the town right away.
There's a 30-foot easement on the road. No, it is not in the right of way.
Well, I was told it was.
Well, because that word you said before. You don't just get to do whatever you want. It's not.
Nobody does
there's an
whatever they
easement.
want. We're going to stay within the law, and if there's damage in your property, we'll fix it,
That would be great. I would love that.
all right? But
And I'm not even opposed. I have to tell you, I want to say one more thing, okay? I highly appreciate emergency personnel, emergency services. I appreciate that the road crews are up at all hours of the night and that they're doing all this work to help us access our roads. All we're talking about is, oh, this is when she bought the property and she's not letting us do this. I am an essential healthcare worker, frontline healthcare worker who served this town as part of the VNA for 10 years. I work all hours of the day, rain or shine, snow or anything else. I leave my house, even though you only plow the road twice a day, if that. And I appreciate, and I don't want to impede access to emergency personnel. And you said that. You said that I was impeding access because I'm not letting them make a turnaround on my road that never
When did
existed
I
before.
say that?
February 3rd, 2025 is part of the public record. On video. It's on video. And that's why I'm mad. I mean, I watched this thing, and I personally feel attacked. I don't know, defamed possibly even. I don't think you said my name conveniently, just this person who is, at the end of this road. I'm the only person there. There's only one other house at the end of the road that's never even there. I'm the only one there. I would like the ambulance to be able to get
There are
there.
several houses up there, correct?
Yeah, I'm the second to last one. There's
Yeah.
11 houses.
Do you have a solution that you'd propose?
I would be willing to have a conversation about it.
Just before this meeting, I had a conversation with Jay offering to come speak to you this week to have a conversation about this.
Well, that's great.
All
I mean,
right,
I feel
and
like it's a little
ask
late.
Mike-
Why didn't you call me before you sent me, have the lawyer send
I
me this letter?
didn't even see that letter, ma'am. I've
And-
never seen that letter.
And the town paid. You want to see it? You want to look at it right now? You want to read it? You want to see how friggin' ridiculous it is? You want to have a look at it?
Sure. I'll
You
look at
you
it.
got a copy of it.
I didn't read
The
it.
town
I
got
didn't
a
get a
copy
copy of it.
And part of eminent domain is that you have a conversation. And that's what I'm saying. Like, here I serve this town. You guys don't have,
Did you ever speak to Larry at all?
a modicum. I left 2 messages for him, and I came to town hall last spring, and I left a message for him at town hall, and he'd never returned my phone call. And I'm going to tell you, the reputation of some of the people in this town is not great, and I have not heard good things from the people, and I was honestly, I'm afraid, intimidated to come down here and speak to you guys. And I am emotional, and I came here to town meeting last year, and I chickened out. But I'm upset about it. There's a big area,
So what's the solution? Continue backing out in an unsafe condition on 100?
Well, what did they do for the last 40 years? Because they weren't turning around on my property.
Yes, they were.
No, they weren't. What did they do last year?
They turned around.
Where?
And your property.
No, they didn't, because it was blocked.
It was-
Well, they did.
Well, they backed out in 100A.
No, I doubt it.
The
There's another
100.
road that they could turn around in. They turn around in other people's driveways without permission. Like communication, professionalism, following the laws. That's what I'm asking for. A phone call? The only phone call I got, I think, was from you after I sent the letter saying, stay off my property, because I'm so angry that I've been treated like this. I've been disrespected. I don't appreciate it, And a phone call would have been
I think we might just
nice.
actually turn that right around and say, we feel a little disrespected because our plow truck's been turning around there for 40 years.
Well,
and
that's not
suddenly
true.
There's wood and
That's an
furniture in the way.
untruth. That's an
Oh,
untruth.
yeah, that's your truth.
Well, prove it.
Are
Because
you-
I have photographic evidence that there is no turnaround there. So I don't know how you could magically have been turning the truck around and not leaving any tire tracks or digging up the dirt, because there was no tire tracks and there was beautiful grassy sod, and it was maintained by the previous owner historically, and both of my neighbors, one has been there for over 40 years, is happy to say that there has never been a turnaround there. And I don't want to stop the fire department or emergency personnel from having access. The ambulance can turn around in my
So
driveway
you
all they
suggest
want.
they continue backing out on 100, which is an unsafe condition?
I think they could use the small truck, first of all. The large truck is too big for the road. It makes a huge mess. It rumbles. It's very loud. I don't know if it's true, but I understand that somebody in the past determined that it was unsafe to bring that truck onto the road and bring it into that intersection. How many accidents have happened in that intersection? I'm gonna say a lot. There's a new guardrail there. I don't know, if I had time in my life to take care of things, I was gonna call the Department of Transportation and ask, because the old guardrail was just like mashed potatoes. There's been a lot of accidents there.
Yeah, and we don't want another, so we'd
No.
love to work something out.
Well, why don't you contact some of the other people and ask to turn around in their driveway? Why me? And why just take advantage of somebody, assuming that they're just gonna let you use the property and make a mess of it? This is what I'm upset about, is that,
Well, I'm upset too, because I'm hearing a whole different story from the highway foreman, okay, and on a lot of different points that you made. So I don't understand what's going on.
Okay.
You have one set of
which I
comments,
have, like
and
I
I hear
said,
other set of
affidavits and
comments.
photographs, and, I can show you that there was nobody turned around there last year.
And you're telling me that it's not on the right-of-way?
It's not on the right of way. There's a 30-foot right-of-way for the road. This is an easement that goes off the road. They have plowed, it's like 100 feet wide, and it's about 30 feet back, and you can go there and you can look at the giant piles of sod that they made from where they plowed 30 feet off of the easement.
Are you available tomorrow?
No.
Okay. I'd like to come look at it with you.
I mean, it's under snow right now, so it's a little inconvenient. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Well, I
pictures.
offered.
I have a lot of pictures. Well, we can make a time if you'd like. I mean,
All right, my schedule's a little flexible, so I can work
I'm
around
a
yours.
busy person, or I would have been
Well,
here a
so am
long
I,
time
but I can
ago.
make time.
Well, I have a full-time job, you know, serving our communities.
Okay.
And the thanks I get for serving the community is, you know, somebody just decides to start plowing, making a huge mess on my property without even a single conversation. At that meeting, February 3rd, 2025, you said that it was an argument and that you were trying to work it out. And I am upset because nobody, not in writing, no, I did try to contact Larry twice. Like I said, I left 2 messages at the shop. I came into town hall in the spring and I left a message with the clerk and I said, please have Larry call me. Is he here? No, will you please have him call me? He never called me. Nobody contacted me until I wrote the letter and said, stop using my property. You made a huge mess of it. And maybe it was emotional. You know, maybe that was an emotional letter. And I don't want to be unreasonable and I don't want to impede access
We
or
don't want to
make
be
people
unreasonable either.
unsafe.
We'd like
But
to find
I'm
a solution.
angry, if you
So
can't
you're
tell.
suggesting we turn around in somebody else's driveway, not yours?
You know what? I don't know what the answer is.
What?
I don't know what the answer is.
Okay.
What I would say is keep doing what the town has done for the last 40 years, which isn't turn around in my property.
That is our assumption, and we're thinking what has changed. There's now lawn furniture and wood and stuff where the normal plow turnaround is what was reported. to
Yeah,
us.
but it's not a normal plow turnaround. They've just been turning around there for like the last 5 years. Yeah, and I have pictures of how there was no turnaround there. And I mean, it's just an electric company easement, and I think there could be a turnaround there, but there should be some kind of agreement where you clean up, you know, at least restore it back if you're gonna like make huge berms so it can't be mowed or anything.
Do you think we can make some kind of an
It's an
agreement?
eyesore.
You think we can come to an agreement?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so.
That'll allow us to turn around and we still protect your property?
Yes,
Okay, fair enough. I'd be willing to try that.
I think there should be some, you know, I mean, like, it's an easement, so, but I think there should be, you know, yeah, some agreement, and,
Okay. Well, I'd love to start that conversation with you, and I'm available at your convenience. Tell me when you want to start it, and we'll start it.
okay.
Okay.
It's the holidays, and I'm busy, and this was the first meeting that I could make it to bring this up, but, I don't think it's like very
I'll tell you
professional
what,
or
Can I
kind.
give you my home phone, and you can call me when you're available?
Sure,
Okay?
thank you,
You call me on my home,
thank you.
and I'll try and make arrangements to
I
meet with you.
just want to say one other thing that I want to say at town meeting, that I feel like maybe there should be some like disclosure of how many times this has happened to people and how much money the town is paying this person to write letters like this. You know, in my experience, if a lawyer is going to write a letter, what authority does this person have to tell me to get off my own property? Who is this guy?
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. It's
And-
been a town right away to turn
But
around
it's not.
for 40 years, which we believe it is. So-
But it's not.
But we believe
I-
it is, and
but-
that was his job to prove that.
Oh, but this isn't proof. This is just a threat to me to get off my property.
It's no threat.
Yeah, this is a threat to me.
Well, you
Leave your
perceive it as
property.
that.
I did perceive it as a threat. I perceive it as a hostile town government, and it makes me very
Well, you're
anxious and
almost there. That's
upset.
how we feel. You're a hostile person.
I'm upset.
You know, coming after us about a turnaround that we've been using for 40 years.
Well, that's not true, and you say that. What
You
is
say
that
that
based
that's
on?
not true.
What is that based on?
How-
What you heard, it's based on hearsay,
Yes.
right? And you're standing by that.
And I
As
believe-
the chairman of the board of this town, you're gonna sit
Our
there
plow's
and
been turned around there for years.
And that's based on
They've not
what?
been backing out into the road.
hearsay. They've been using the small truck, and they turn around in other people's driveways.
Just to their defense, the small truck though, I mean, you still have 8 feet of bed coming out onto the road before you can even come close to seeing anybody. So backing out isn't safe
No,
for
it's
the
not
for
safe.
drivers.
There's
It's
another
not.
road. I'm not
it's
saying
dri-
that. I'm not saying
okay.
back out. That was their idea. That was what he said. That because I don't want the town taking my land without even having a conversation with me, that it would be my fault if there was
No,
an
I
accident.
thought you had said that
No,
they should back out.
I never said that.
Okay.
That's insane.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We need-
That's an
this
insane
is-
thing to say.
Okay.
Could you just clarify for me, because I'm not very invested in this overall discussion, how long have you owned the property?
It'll be 10 years in August.
10 years, so that's a long, so in that 10-year period, they were not turning around?
Not until like 5 years ago.
5 years ago, so it's been
6
ongoing
years.
for like 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, but I was like piling shit up because I was chicken to come here and try to talk to you guys because I don't want to do this because I'm emotional, I'm angry.
But they have been turning around there for 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, but 5 or 6 years doesn't establish anything legally, so.
I'm not saying it does or it doesn't, I'm just trying to
And
understand
I did
the
try to
situation.
contact Larry.
And prior to that 5 or 6 years, they were not turning?
No, there's this lovely grassy meadow that I have pictures of. Yeah.
I'd like to, there's so much negativity here going on. I'd like to turn this around and get something positive out of it.
I appreciate that.
So let's just, when you're available, we'll have a conversation and I'll come meet with you and we'll work something out.
That
Okay?
sounds good, thank you.
Okay. Thanks for
I'm
coming.
just, yeah, upset about paying this lawyer for this letter. And I am curious how many other times this has happened to people. And I feel like maybe people in the community might want to, have a conversation about this, because it seems to me like a pattern of behavior.
Well, if-
I want to say something to that, because if you sent these guys a letter, their only recourse is to hire an attorney and respond to you. I mean, it's not their job as the select board to respond.
Legally,
I mean-
if you're gonna talk about eminent domain, they're
I'm not talking
supposed
about
to-
eminent domain.
they're
I'm talking about-
supposed to- They couldn't just make a phone call? Like, he's being reasonable.
All I'm saying is you said you sent them a letter
Mm-hmm.
about that it's not their property. So legally, they have to hire an attorney. That's the way society is. I mean, as a town, we have to cover our bases
Mm-hmm.
as far as, liabilities and stuff like that. So if you send a letter to the select board or to anybody in town, their recourse would be to hire an attorney to respond to you, because
So-
that's what people do.
So let's just say, you're a body of, a board of a
Yeah,
town,
yeah.
and there's a question about a land use situation.
Yeah.
And the law for eminent domain is that you're supposed to communicate with the person, talk to the person about it, to work out a deal.
Well,
And the first communication, do you want to read this
No,
letter?
but I'm just saying in
'Cause this is
response
crazy.
to that, eminent domain doesn't, they're not saying that it's eminent domain, they're
No, they
saying.
are.
No, they're not, they're saying it's been there for 40
Okay.
years, so it's a little different than
right.
eminent domain, because
Well, it's not.
they feel that it was existing.
Right, feel.
Yeah.
I
That's why you would hire an attorney, that's all I'm saying.
Right,
I'm
well,
not
I just
asking-
went for $5,000 to hire an attorney,
Well,
so.
I mean, in his attorney's defense, he's the town attorney. He handles everything that the town, he's. our
Right, and I
retainer.
wonder how much money he's getting paid to handle everything and
Well,
write
he makes
letters
$300
instead of
an
just.
hour.
I know, to write in here that I purchased my property, you pay them by the letter, right? And it says in here 3 times the date that I bought my property, which has no bearing on this. This was not the right way to go about this. I tried to contact Larry, and I disagree with your premise that, it's on hearsay.
That's why we're all here, we disagree.
Yeah, well, I would love to just have some evidence. I feel like at this point, I would like the town, to put the burden of proof on the town that there's an agreement. The title, there's nothing in the deed, there's nothing in the town map that says anything about it. And yet you guys are gonna sit here and say that because Larry said so, that there's a turnaround. So,
Well, some of us remember old school when we used to have agreements with a handshake.
sure,
or
I mean, if
a
there was an
word
agreement.
A word was an agreement.
And there was a turnaround, that would be one thing. But I had this beautiful grassy meadow that you could mow, and that looked pretty, and that my neighbors like to look at, and it got completely destroyed. And there's piles of sod there now, so you can't mow it. So, and to say,
Like I said, if there was damage done, we will repair it.
I appreciate that. Sorry, I'm so emotional, and I appreciate everybody's time. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay, so that brings us to an update on Peppermint versus the town. And Bethany Burgess has been served in that as well. So their attorney has been in touch, and there's no, I guess, no depositions required on our part yet. And
So that's expanded?
it has expanded, they've included Bethany Burgess in the case.
I thought it was going the opposite way.
Yeah, no,
No, it's
yeah.
going.
And I don't have all the details, but that is the next step.
Perfect. More money for the lawyer.
Some things never change.
I got two quick things on other business too.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, we had a turkey dinner here for the community, and I wanted to thank Angela, the office staff that participated, Jim Allen, who cooked all the turkeys, Jeff Saylor, Kirk, everybody who did a fantastic job. We served over 70 meals to the community that day.
Nice.
And that was an outstanding showing for our community.
That
And
turkey was good, man.
I just want to make sure everybody knows that we appreciate it, and a big thank you goes out. And also for our Christmas party that we had for the kids last Saturday. Santa Claus did a wonderful job, and he did a great showing. We gave away a bunch of toys to a bunch of kids, and that was another good show for the community. So everybody who helped out with that one, I wanted to make sure you know that the board thanks everybody. And that's all I have on that one.
All right. Andy, did you have anything?
No, I'm just here to see if you guys have any questions.
Oh, okay.
Do you want more money? That's what everyone's been doing today, so you might as well get in on board.
Money or
I think we can revisit that agenda item on the.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
This is the only time I could get
that's all
here.
right. Can you just give us a little walkthrough maybe of like what the cemetery commissioners are thinking?
Yeah, as you know, and I think you guys know, we definitely have some issues with some of the stone steps. As in the notch when you're facing the cemetery, when you're standing on Lions Hill Road. The one in front of the president's fine, but the one to the left needs a little help. That actually is the better of the three that I'm going to talk about, but then the second one is Pollard Cemetery by the Boy Scout camp there. Those are horrid. Those are absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Plus the walls falling down at Pollard. Then you had the Kingdom, which Tom Brown and I did something to that like 10 years ago to try to make it easier for people. And I mean, it's okay, but it definitely needs some work. So, most of this is beyond the scope of what we as a board can do. So, I think as you guys may or may not know, we did hire Jeff Saylor this past year to help push the wall back at the notch,
Yep.
which he did in certain areas, and it worked. And it's only a springtime thing that you can do before the ground gets too hard or dries out, so you gotta do it when it's wet. So, I was gonna ask Jeff in the spring if he would go around with me to these other three, well, the notch plus the other two, and see if he can give us some kind of an estimate. I don't even know what to do with these stone steps. When I was talking to the other two guys on the board, my idea was just not the one at the notch. Obviously, we gotta fix those so everything looks the same.
Yeah.
But the other two, I think we just rip them right out and try to come up with something different. Whether we use an excavator to try to dig into the bank as far as we can before we hit ledge, and instead of stone, maybe put pressure-treated stairs. I don't know. We don't know yet what to do. So the thought is, why the increase? 2 reasons. One, because of that. Because it's definitely a safety issue, especially with Pollard. Pollard's the worst, I think. And second, I did get an estimate. If something happened to me during the season, and I don't know how many people know, but for like 45, 50 years, it's been someone on the board tries to take care of the cemeteries to keep the costs down versus hiring everything out. Well, I did get an estimate a couple of years ago for hiring out. And it was between 25 and 30 grand to do all the cemeteries. Now, some of them you only have to do once a year, right? Some of the private ones that, you know, according to state statutes, if they are deemed abandoned, we have to, as a town, we have to take them over. So there's a handful of the private cemeteries as well. So if something happens to me, because I'm the one that does it, if something happens to me even mid-season and we have to hire somebody, we want to make sure we have that backup so that we can just say, yep, here you go, go. So that's mainly the reason why. There's the two reasons why. And I don't even know if that increase is going to even cover fixing the stone stairs or to rip them out. And
Right.
I don't even know if it's going to cover that. I don't even know if Jeff wants to even tackle that or not. So a lot of things are up in the air, but we're trying to get ahead of, and all you guys got to do is just go to Pollard and look at it and say, oh yeah, this is a mess. And it is. And it's been like that a while.
Yeah.
And you gotta replace stones there?
Yes, that actually,
Are they still readable?
some.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to back up a little bit. That's why I really didn't want to come here tonight, because I wasn't the one,
Okay.
but I got outvoted with this budget, okay? I was willing to shift a little bit from the replacement stone fund to the maintenance fund, and then add a little bit to that, just to give us that buffer. Because right now, as it stands, the way I figure it, we got about 23 grand for replacement headstones. And for the last year, we've had an issue with our supplier for that. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but. So we may look for a different person to do it. However, this guy who was doing it was keeping the price low for us. I don't think anybody will do that for that cheap. So I'm just guessing that probably the replacement headstones now are at $1,000, $1,200. I'm guessing if we go to somebody else, it'll be $1,500 or higher. But that's just a guess. So and as far as how many we have to replace, I think it's somewhere between 10 and 12 left to do. I mean, most of them are at Pollard, and if you go there, you'll see them, they're just laying on the ground. So it's a bit to do, but I think we with the replacement headstone fund there, we're good. We're good there for now. We got to use. I'd like to use that pretty much all up before we add any more to that, but that's my own. But the other two didn't see it that way. But I think our focus should definitely be the stairs. Because if somebody slips and falls and goes on, they can sue the town. So that's.
Thank you.
I'm not a good salesman, that's my pitch,
We
but.
get it. No, but we get it. It makes sense.
Getting hurt in a cemetery, nobody wants to do that.
It's bad enough having to stay
Might
there.
just plant in the ground. You know?
It's a double negative.
Is there an alternate way at the Pollard Cemetery instead of going straight up where those
There
stairs?
is. There's that trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
and
more-
I've driven up that
Yeah.
to bring some mowers and my equipment to the back. So yes, we could, and this is what I thought of too, if we're gonna do something with them, because a lot of people just, they do that trail and then they come straight down through the cemetery and then
Yeah.
back. If ever we figure, well, yep, we're gonna do some work on them, either we block those right off, so nobody goes
Right.
there while we're working on it, or we get rid of them entirely,
Yeah,
so that they just.
and make the trail more obvious. You know, I
Yeah, with
don't
that.
know where the trail starts, but when I've gotten to the top, I realize there's a trail here.
Right,
And it's an easier access
it is,
on
it
foot.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
But nobody, I don't know where it is, so I've never,
Well, it's
Fine.
right as you're facing the cemetery,
Yeah.
it's just down a little bit to the right.
To the right?
to the right, yeah. There's I think a split rail, I think the state has a split rail fence.
Yeah.
And it's right at the end of the split
If we
rail.
put some sign there, signage letting people know this is how to get there,
Well, yeah.
although people who are accustomed to using the old way
Yeah,
probably will still try to do it.
well, we had, when we were doing ancient roads,
Yeah.
we had an issue with the state with that.
Oh,
And so they get really, so probably words I probably shouldn't say on TV, so it was kind of a fine line we had to walk with them, and we had to prove that, yes, that was an access for when that cemetery was active for burials.
Yeah, it has to, I mean, it has to be for that.
Yeah,
It's the only way
There's
to
no
get it.
more burials in that one.
Right, but I'm just saying. like,
Right, well, for maintenance and
Yeah,
stuff like
I
that.
mean, you have to be able to get mowers and stuff
Right.
up there, you can't go up the front way.
Right,
There's no parking for the front road.
what's that?
There's no parking for the other access.
No, there isn't.
No, so.
No, you have to, yeah, well, that's
So
another
that's a
thing.
limitation.
Right, there's no parking unless you park in where the state has their, the Boy Scout camp, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Anyways, so, because the sign's saying you can't park on the side of the road. So I don't know, it's a touchy thing right there.
so view as you drive past.
Yeah, but where you go, you'd have to park in front of the stone wall of the cemetery,
Yeah,
and it's not very wide there.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
And some people I've seen go by there, they don't drive too slow.
No.
So you come up over that hill, and if you're parked over on the right, yeah, I don't know, I don't know what to do. I don't know, do we just wipe them right out and people go around, or try to fix them? Put in pressure treated, I don't know. And I think, for that one, I think the best thing to do is just get an excavator in there and see what we got. If we hit ledge, we hit ledge. Try to, if you want to, get rid of them entirely, fine. If you want to put some pressure treated and try to pin it to the ledge, we could. I got the equipment for that. I got the tools for that. But I don't know, guys. We have to do something.
Well, they made stone steps work there one time, huh?
What's that?
They made stone steps work there one time, so.
Yeah.
it's a really neat cemetery.
Yeah.
The problem is, I mean, not only are they falling apart, but the other problem is too, okay, you got your step that's this high, and then the
Yeah,
next
one's a foot, one's a foot, one's 3 inches.
So, I mean, it's the same way up the notch on that side, on that left side, one's one height. But that, I think, we gotta kind of leave. But I think we can fix those without too much getting into it, the ones at the notch. But the others, there's no getting around it. So that's why, I mean, if we can get somebody to do it next year, great. If not, we take that, build it up again, and try to get them done. And then we can adjust the budget after that.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Thanks, Andy.
All right.
Next board meeting,
After,
mid-January,
Yeah.
right? Calendar. That would be the 19th.
January 18th.
that'll work.
Any agenda items right now? All right.
I know one day you gotta deal with that question.
Offer. All right, then all we got left is executive session and sign some warrants.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And so the answer to that question was, the inspections are June through December.
Okay.
So letters will go out prior to that.